Hello and welcome to Chat with Dr. Cat. I'm Dr. Cat. It's great to see all of you today. Today we have a viewer who is guesting with us, and I want to welcome Les. Hello, Les. I'm listening. What do you want to talk about?
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Cat, for reviewing my the note I sent in and giving me an opportunity to receive some insight and guidance from you. I reached out, and I believe the verbatim sentence was, "I'm an LCSW, and I'm considering leaving that profession to become a nun."
Oh, okay. Wow. What have you always felt like you wanted to become a nun?
Not necessarily. I grew up. Catholicism was imparted onto me, not as a willing recipient, but I did go along with it. And instead of becoming resentful towards the whole idea, I decided to take parts of it that I agreed with
Okay.
and run my life that way. However, in my profession, I become disenfranchised, quite honestly, and I'm left kind of scratching my brain at where my skills could go if I no longer believe necessarily in the sanctity the sanctity of the profession I worked so hard to achieve and be prosperous in.
No, I get it because
Yeah.
it does take a lot. It's a lot of education, a lot of training, a lot of taking exams, continuing education. There's a huge dedication. I think a lot of times people don't realize how long it takes to become a licensed, especially a licensed LCSW, which is a licensed social worker.
Yes.
Okay, I have a lot of questions.
I'm
Are you
happy to
ready?
have them.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring
So,
them.
so here's the first one. You said
Yeah.
you're a little bit maybe pulled away from Catholicism. Are you looking to become a nun in the Catholic community, or are you looking in a different religion, a different way? What are you looking for?
That question is wonderful. I found out last year that I'm ethnically Jewish. So I actually did some time exploring the Jewish faith. I read the Torah. I've spoken with rabbis and other practitioners and other Jewish people, and I got a sense of how they see the world, the commandments, their interpretations of things, and just the deep heritage that comes with that. So I I have always wanted to help people. That has been the driving force. So when I think about if I can't or don't want to be an LCSW anymore, where could I take those skills? But I also have always had a deep respect for nuns, not the ones who hit people with rulers. Not but the
I've known a
ones,
few of those.
right. So did I. I went to a Catholic high school. It was rough. But one of my first jobs was working at a reunification program here in Southern Indiana.
Hmm.
And the program was operated under the guidance and the allowance of a woman. And I know I'm not allowed to give names. So it was a sister, a
Hmm.
very established, very well known, respected woman. And where I had resentment toward the Catholic Church due to some of my own experiences in life and wondering why God would put me through all of that, I did find solace in anytime I talked to her, anytime I sought advice, and I realized that they are people too, right? They are still human beings. They can still crack a joke. She can still have five dogs that are crazy, and she's still a very good person who is doing what she calls God's work, but it's a humanitarian effort.
Okay, but I get that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you know, being a social worker, obviously a lot of that work is selfless, if not all of it is. It's not about you, it's about everybody that you're working with. You can get to a place of burnout. I don't know if you're in a place of burnout.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
yes,
And look, it happens. It happens in the helping profession.
it does.
So, here's my big question, okay?
Sure.
You're going to another it's kind of an extreme. And again, no judgment, but I want to
Yeah.
kind of get what you're thinking. You're going to an extreme of being a nun, which takes selflessness to the optimum level, right? And so,
State-like to
right?
be said. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're feeling burnt out, which could be because you're not seen enough, this happens in this profession. Because
Mm.
I always say, we never say to somebody, hey, my turn to sit on that couch or my turn to be on the other side of that desk. It's about them. So we are unseen. But now it seems like you're choosing something else that can lead you to a place where you're unseen even more. Have you thought about that?
Yes, I made that connection. In becoming a person of the cloth, I would be giving up a lot of individuality, a lot of the things that make me unique and special. Like I probably won't be able to wear my gauges.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really mind. And I can give you insight as to why I don't personally, it's a very complex reason why I don't necessarily feel bad or conflicted about giving up my individuality. I was, to give you some context, I was adopted
Mm-hmm.
at birth. And the family who adopted me for the sole purpose of being a live in maid, being a replacement to their dead daughter, and taking care of them. So I was not taught self respect because you don't teach self respect to somebody who you want to utilize and you don't want them to leave. You encourage them to be dependent, you encourage them to be afraid of the world. And I can go back to that place of like, I can detach from myself and just help or give an insightful comment or do work that will be never recognized by another person. That is fine with me.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack here, Leslie. There's a
You're
lot
fine.
here. You've
Yes, and I will assure you, Dr. Kat, that I do have a wonderful,
support group.
very knowledgeable. Yes, I
Okay.
have a
Support
wonderful
system.
therapist,
Okay.
prescriber, a tight group of friends, family. And yes, I come to these thoughts not as like a manic person who has been up for days. This has been thoughtful. This is
No,
how do I,
I definitely
yeah,
hear
yeah,
your less. No, I hear your thoughtfulness. I do. And I'm so glad you said that you have a support system in place because that's vital for everyone. I just
yeah,
the I don't know you. So all I can tell you is instinctually only the pattern that I'm seeing is that you were brought into this family, which was not the best, and I'm sorry that happened to you.
absolutely.
Obviously, you've learned a lot from it, but you went from that situation of being the helper
Yes,
to then choosing a profession of helping, and now you're going into another area of helping. So my only
yes,
thing would be to challenge yourself on is if you're just creating a different situation but a different, it's the same situation but a different face. So that's the only thing I would say is, maybe you need to step back a little bit because, and maybe you've done this, Les, that you've sat down with your support group and you've said, hey, what are some other things that I could do where I can help, but maybe sacrifice doesn't have to be at the forefront. Maybe there's something else that you could do to kind of change the pattern because
yes.
you do see the pattern, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I do see the pattern. The limitations, the barriers to me being able to maybe go do something like one of my other skills is baking. I make challah, I make ciabatta, I make frittata, sourdough. I love doing all
That's
that. So
wonderful.
I obviously have thought like, oh, I could go be a baker. I'm physically handicapped. You
Hmm.
may not be able to tell, but I have paralysis. I
Hmm.
apologize. Paralysis down my face and into my left arm. So I'm limited there. One of my biggest problems, and I'm sure people in my situation, and maybe even yours being a doctor, is that if ever you're in a position where you have to maybe apply for a job that's out of your wheelhouse,
Hmm.
like if times are so bad you're trying to apply to Walmart, if you have a master's degree on your application, they don't really consider you. So like I am also confronted with if I were to find a whole new profession, I would have to start at the very bottom. And at almost 40, that's a very overwhelming thing to consider. I also, unfortunately, in my duties of being an LCSW, have run afoul of some of the communities in my local area. If I may give some insight,
Yeah.
yeah. I, as an LCSW, also specialized in addiction. So I was a KDAC 4,
Oh, okay.
and I'm also trauma informed, so CCTP. And I found that a good calling for me was helping addicts and trying to help them overcome not just their addiction, but the personal underlying problems that led to or were made worse. And unfortunately, what I have found is that organizations that are not reputable, so not like your hospital-based recovery programs, your um, uh, the like PACS or New Leaf, or the ones that have state accreditation and follow policy and procedures, the ones that don't operate like that are being shut down very frequently throughout my area now. But fraud was built into their budget.
Mm,
Uh,
mm-hmm.
Not following policy and procedure was the norm. I had one of the reasons, one of the main like to my disenfranchisement. I was the clinical director of a program, and I assessed a gentleman, and he was very honest with me, which I much appreciated and shared my appreciation. But he told me, "Yeah, I've been doing like a handle of vodka every day for the last week and a half, and I top that off with some Xanax every day." And I said, "Okay, I'll see you in 3 days when you come back from detox. Perfect. We'll hang out then." The program director came and pulled out his phone and typed the phrase, or actually speech to text, "Do I have to send a person to the detox if they haven't drank in 24 hours?" And my clinical insight, my reputation, everything got put up against Google AI. And when you are the person quietly or sometimes moderately loudly trying to stop others from committing fraud, abuse of clients, um, potentially risking lives, very close to risking lives, um, I think about my responsibility and ultimately my accountability. I have to always consider, I can never say, well, my boss told me to do it, because the licensing boards and those people of stature and experience that they have on the boards will look at me and say, but you knew better.
Okay, let
You
me
knew.
let
Yeah,
me stop you there.
sure.
Um, I believe everything you're saying.
Yeah,
I've worked in situations and the bureaucracy that happens in hospital settings, psychosocial rehabs, all that. You're absolutely right, and I can see how that's part of your burnout. It's a struggle. So let me just say this.
sure.
Right now, you're presently working. Yes or no?
No,
Okay.
I am not. I am attempting to obtain Social Security disability due to the injury I incurred.
Okay. So, there's a couple of things that I would just want you to maybe challenge yourself on, because it does sound like you really take pride in working with integrity. So, that is a big thing. The fact that you want to potentially move to become a nun, obviously, there's integrity there, there's vulnerability, humbleness, there's all of those things. But maybe you know and maybe you have sat down and have done a pro con list of what you want to do in your life. It does seem like there's been a lot of struggles. It does seem like you want to be with a group of people who have integrity, where you'll fit in. And
You've
so,
nailed it.
right?
Yes. Yes, you hit it right on the head. I want to be in a position where and I don't speak from a point of pride, I
Okay.
speak from a point of honesty. Like a hammer has to be honest about its capability of hitting a nail.
Right.
There is no debate on the engine's ability to have a certain amount of horsepower. It is there. And I don't want to, I struggle because when I bring up the points of this is not right practice, this is putting somebody at danger, that I don't want ad hominem attacks. I don't want straw man attacks. I don't need you to go against me and like, well, I know this about your personal life, or I know this about something you said the other day. Like, I just want to be, if I have been given the ability to be insightful, assess, direct, motivate, be there to be the listener, I want to do that without being constantly attacked about it.
No, I get that part.
Yeah.
But here's my only concern. And again,
Yeah.
Les, I just met you a few minutes ago. So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
but the only thing that, through this kind of coaching process that we're doing right now is my concern would be that
Yeah.
you would go into becoming a nun
Mm.
and you would get the benefits of being with like-minded beings, okay?
Yeah.
And you would still have that urge and that need fulfilled to help other people, which is in you and has been reinforced negatively and positively throughout your life.
Yes.
Then you're there, and another aspect of your life where you may want to be fulfilled through maybe personal relationships. Maybe it's through just being with other people that aren't nuns. You cut yourself off from a lot of the mainstream society. That's the whole thing about becoming a nun. And let me tell you, I've been around them my entire life as well. And they have sacrifices that,
Yeah.
that their entire life is about giving.
Yes.
Entire life. So if you're feeling burnt out from the giving, you're going into that other area now that is the epitome of giving, that may lead to maybe a year, maybe a couple of years down the line where you're like,
Regretful.
what
Yes.
did I do? So,
What did I commit to? I'm married
right.
to Jesus. Oh no.
Right. And look, married to Jesus is a beautiful thing if that is what you want to do. So the only thing I would say, Les, is through your support system, but maybe just working through with a ton of pro-con lists of what it is that you're giving, what it is that you're giving up. Are you willing to do it? And just post those pro-con lists on a mirror, on a closet door, somewhere where you can visibly look at them every day and add to them and take away. What are your hard stops for life? Like, I need to have this in my life. Or maybe, look at a list where are you giving up and willing to sacrifice because it hasn't come to you? Maybe it's love that you have wanted that hasn't come to you. Maybe it's friendships. I don't know. It could be anything, a slew of things. But really take the time, Les, because you deserve that. You deserve to take the time to figure this out because I'm assuming you're working on this with your therapist where you're kind of doing the deep dive into that pattern of help.
Yes.
And look, at the end of all of this, I think if you choose to go and do this, I think that group of people are going to be blessed with a wonderful individual. And I think that that's fantastic. I have known people that have gone into that have made the wrong decision. Oh my gosh, even including, I went to Catholic high school as well. And I remember we had this one, I'll tell you, it's a funny story. So it was a private Catholic high school, all girl, okay? It used to be a boarding school. I didn't board, but it was just this school that was, run by nuns. And there was this one nun, sister, I'm not going to say her name, but she was very young, very, very young, and very tough, okay? And we feared her. We feared her. And one day we had these guys come on campus. Anyway, they started to, they came in on their bicycles and And I won't go too far into it. Anyway,
The
next.
natural thing that occurs between young men
Right.
and women
Right.
when they've been secluded from one
Right.
another for
Exactly.
yeah.
And all of a sudden, we hear this, and we turn around, and there she is with a shotgun, walking down the main drive with two other nuns, one on each, grasped arms. The girls, we just ran like this, and she looks at the boys, and she was like, "Get off our property." We were like, right? I will always have this vision. And when I talk to my, family and friends, I had cousins that went there. We laugh about it. But here's the thing. 5 years later, my sister, who also went to that school, was in a bar with her friends, right? They're in college. Actually, I think right out of college. And they're at a bar, going out to meet a bunch of friends. And I think it was some like trivia night or something. And there she is. There's the nun sitting at the bar. They walked. No, she didn't wear it.
Oh.
None of them wore it. None of them wore the habit.
Okay.
The habit,
Okay.
for everybody that's listening, is the black and white traditional. None of them. They were all in regular clothes.
Yeah,
they walked
clothes.
up and they said, "Hello, sister." In their traditional, well, hello, And she was like, "Shh, don't call me that." And she says, "I'm not a nun anymore." And they looked at her and they said, "What?" And she said, "I was forced into it by my parents. And once they passed away, I left." And she says, "It was too much for me. I thought I could do it. I enjoyed the camaraderie, but I wanted more from life." She's like, "Hey, do you want to come and sit and have a drink?" They're like, "No." And she's like, she goes, "I get it. I was intense." And a lot of that intensity came from the fact that she was so unhappy. Why I wanted to share that with you. Yeah. I wanted to share that. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you, Les, because not because I'm predicting that's who you're going to be. I can't do that. That's not what I do. But a lot of times people get into things because they think that's where they should go. And they don't take enough time to really sit back and see what it is that they have other passions in. See, you are a trained individual with a pretty impressive and intense career. You dedicated a tremendous amount of time to become a licensed individual, to be an expert, okay? So somebody that works at Walmart, that's a job. It may be a great job, but that's a job, right? We have people who have jobs. We have people who have careers. We have people who are 9-to-5ers. We have entrepreneurs, and everybody finds their way.
Yeah.
So maybe here's another list that I'd like to encourage you to do. What are your passions, Les? What is it? I mean, I look behind you. I don't know. Is that, you believe in the universe? Is it something that it is horoscopes? Is it something with the stars? You mentioned earlier, there's some other things that you find interest. I'm looking at your gauges. There's things to me that you may have other passions about.
Yes.
That possibly could lead you down another path. Now, again, I'm not discouraging you. All I'm saying is do the homework, Les, to find out if, in fact, this next path is for you. It's just like with me, when I decided I want to do podcasts, this is my passion, helping people and talking to people. But I really had to do some soul searching because I also, I write books. I'm the type that I've always thought outside the box.
Absolutely.
And I have these passions and I don't want to give up any of these passions, but I have to figure out how to do it. So I want to encourage you and anyone that's listening. Sometimes we choose paths that we think that's the best option because it's what we already know. But maybe you have other passions, Les, that you can bring your gift of being there for others
Yes.
where you don't have to let go of things. Like I saw you, you're like, I may have to give up my gauges, and that's disappointing to you because that's a commitment, and
Yes,
it's a,
it was.
right. It's a commitment. It's an appearance. It's something you've chose to do and you love. So I don't know. Just sit down with your pro con list. This is the advice I'm going to give you.
Thank you.
Is because we're coming to an end, and I've really enjoyed you, Les, because you're very I don't know, forthcoming with your thoughts, and thank you for sharing with everybody your history and things that have happened. But just do some more homework. That would be my biggest advice. Do some more homework. Make those lists. Put them up so you can visually look at them. Maybe you're walking from your bathroom into the front of the house or your apartment or wherever you're at, and you go, hold on a second, here's another thought.
Right, right.
Right? And make it your world.
Yeah.
And just after us talking today, sit down, pen to paper, okay? We know how brain processes. I always tell people, pen to paper, you process things differently than sitting on your
That
phone. Yes.
yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the closest you can get to EMDR by
Yes.
yourself in your room.
Right.
Yeah.
So sit down, write things that you're passionate about, truly passionate about, whether it's something physical, something you've admired in other people, the things that I'm seeing behind you. And then on this other side of the paper, maybe write possible career paths, possible jobs, possible
Yeah.
things that you could do. Maybe if you want to stay in the realm of helping people, maybe you find a job while you're creating, your own drug rehab with integrity and love, and you get other like-minded people. Or you truly decide that it's a calling for you to marry
Yes.
Jesus and dedicate your life, because that's beautiful as well. But you got a lot going on, and you have a lot of experience. It's not like, you just do. You have a lot of experience and a lot of education and a lot of training. So you're not limited, less. You're not
Maybe,
starting from ground zero like you mentioned. You're not.
yeah. That was an overgeneralization, and I should slap myself with a ruler ahead of time to stop myself. But Dr. Kat, let me tell you that as we have been talking, I of course have been absorbing what you're saying and applying it and already piecing together some ideas. And it occurred to me that I at one point had a client who was doing it might have not been Doctors Without Borders, but it was like
Hmm.
going across and traveling and volunteering services uh, across the world. And for whatever reason, I forgot about that until our discussion. So I need to thank you greatly for giving me a new opportunity in a window I had forgotten in a room I hadn't been in a while.
Yay! Yay! Okay, Les, sit down after our conversation, pen to paper, travel, helping around the world. You could do that even as a nun if you decide to do that too. There's
Yeah.
so many possibilities. I just think sometimes, Les, when we get burnt out, and we all do,
Yeah.
we're blinded by the burnout.
We're so numb. Our serotonin,
Yes.
our dopamine's just not reactive, and like
Yes.
nothing feels good. Everything feels like a closed door. And you're like, do I even like humans anymore?
Yes.
But no,
Yes.
like the thing is, Dr. Kat, had I not jokingly applied by saying, hey, I'm an LCSW and I'm thinking about becoming a nun, I would have not been inspired and given the epiphany that you helped me obtain by remembering that client who went to do the thing,
Right.
did all. So I have to give you commendation, and if it's okay, if I could pursue it and it works out, I'll let you know
Of
how it
course.
goes.
Let me know. Here's the other thing, Les. You wouldn't
Yeah.
have reached out to talk to me if you were dead set on what you wanted to do.
No, that is absolutely true. I needed a bigger adultier adult with more letters behind their name to help me out.
No, you
I
just
needed
needed
that.
someone to see you, and I see you, Les, and I hear you, and I think you're going to do great things. Just find your passion so that you can live a happy, fulfilled life. Not perfect. Nothing's perfect. We know that.
Nope.
But
No.
fulfilled. And yes,
Yeah.
reach out to me. Let me know. Thank you for coming on and being brave, because let me say this also. You become an example for other people who are also struggling, whether it's empty nesters or people that have burnout or people that feel that they have a calling, but they haven't really stepped back to look and see what else is out there. So kudos to you. Great job. And let me know. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you
You
for
as well,
coming.
Dr. Kat.
Thank you.
so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have a good day.
So everyone, this was Les, and she was wonderful, and it was great having her on today. If you have any thoughts about wanting to join us as a guest viewer, please reach out to chatwithdrkat.com. Let us know what your thoughts and feelings are. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We've actually been just inundated with so many different people. Thank you so much for reaching out. Thank you. And please have them keep coming in. And again, please keep sending in your ideas about being out in the wild and some of the things that I can talk to you about and how to maybe have a different way to think about things. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.